The clock is ticking over the Georgia state capitol. Lawmakers have just days to push potentially hundreds of bills through before Friday's crossover day deadline, when legislation either survives or dies for the year. Atlanta News First reporter Abby Casoris is live at the state capitol, where there's a little bit of anxiety. So how are lawmakers handling this crunch time right now, Abby?
The pressure is setting in. The question is whether these bills will stay alive or whether they will die.
The bill will also require
the sights and sounds of crunch time at the Georgia Capitol. Press conferences, passionate pleas, and packed hallways.
Stop HB 942.
While lawmakers inside the chambers began jamming bills through, one after another.
I still got another page to go through.
Bye.
Friday is crossover day. Bills pass their chamber or die. More than half of all proposed legislation typically doesn't make it, which is stressing out Nicole Campbell. She's pushed for service dog protections for 6 years after her last service dog was blinded in an attack.
If it was to pass, I would be elated because the legislation means the world to me, because I was affected because the legislation wasn't there.
Marcus Gillum wants state scholarship opportunities to expand to people who have been arrested in the past.
Creating more opportunities also creates an opportunity for a better and brighter future, which affects us all.
When lawmakers agree, things move fast. Tuesday, Governor Brian Kemp signed the amended budget, a $1 billion tax refund, expanded express lanes, and scholarships.
This isn't the government's money. It is the people of Georgia's money.
Stop HB 942.
But when they don't, fierce opposition. House Bill 942 sparked a showdown. Critics say the bill threatens Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport's financial stability. Lawmakers are expecting a late night on Friday night, a marathon session of pushing bills through. And then again, not all bills will actually get to the finish line. Live at the state capitol, Abby Casoris, Atlanta News First.